Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and hello to all our beloved friends and family around the world. This is Dr. Kathryn E's Blog Talk Radio program, Channel Panel, and today is Wednesday, August 6, 2014. And for tonight's program, we have Kathryn as our host and our channel, and our guest is Ashtar. And for those of you who don't know Ashtar, he is the commander of the Galactic Federation Fleet, and I'll bet you he'll let us know a little bit more about how wonderful that really is. And after yesterday's message from Kathryn on August 5th, recorded on Blog Talk Radio, I have a feeling we're going to be hearing some really exciting news from Ashtar. This is Meg Davis, your co-host, calling in from High Falls, New York, sitting right next to Kathryn, and a house full of the most amazing people, of course that's my biased opinion, on day 4 of a week-long retreat of visual centering and healing work, and as of yesterday, activating Mother Terra's crystals. So this has been an exciting week and keeps getting better. Good evening, Kathryn.
Hi, Meg. Hello, everyone.
It's a really exciting time. Now, I just heard my phone beep. That doesn't mean I just went off the air, does it? Okay. So I think we've got the technology worked out. For all of you who weren't familiar with what we're doing this week, as Meg just mentioned, we had calls on Monday and Tuesday night at 5 o'clock, and those are recorded on Blog Talk Radio. And they're also recorded on Start Meeting, a conference call system. And I have posted the call-in number for the conference call on the website, so you can call in and get the archives. And the most recent one, I think, is number 4. No, tonight's will be number 5. So earlier this week was number 4 and number 3. So if you call in, I believe that's how you get to the show you want to listen to. But you can always, it's easy to get the most recent one. So I'll have to explore that a little more. But I know that they are there, they're recorded, and they're available for people who want to call in on the phone. So we haven't had that facility before, so that people could call from their phones to get the recorded shows. So now we have both, either Blog Talk or the conference call. So here we are with this group of amazing, wonderful people. We've been working like you can't believe here, and the most astonishing things happening. For those who didn't hear last night's call, it was just after we'd done some amazing work in the afternoon, and we had the call, and the people who were most involved in the excitement for yesterday gave a description about what they saw and felt. And basically what they were experiencing was an enormous clearing and a reactivation of the enormous crystal deposits under Stone Mountain in Georgia. And it's no accident that two of the folks that are here live within a half hour of Stone Mountain. And we're asking about it, and that's when the subject came up. And the more we talked about it, the more we got information that would be our work for today. That was yesterday. So we had a very profound and astonishing experience with resulting in activating the huge crystal deposits that are underneath Atlanta and that extend all the way to Arkansas to the Maximus crystal, which is, a lot of you, I'm sure, have heard about the crystal in Arkansas. And after we did that, we started to get information, and there are, of course, a number of people in the room who are psychic and can vividly see these things going on. And we got the information, not only that, well, I'm not sure I can explain this as well as the people who saw it. I'm getting, no, I don't want to do that. Okay. All right. Correct me if I say something wrong. That there was, Ashtar, I think, is going to talk more about this too. But there was an immediate connection from planet Earth to the grid, and what some of us saw was that the grid suddenly was activated in a new way, in which all of the grids, as some of you know, there's a grid for everything. There's an RV grid. There's a grid for every species. Of course, there's the human grid, and they merged into an enormous, powerful system that completely surrounds planet Earth and is electrical. It's just lighted up. And the fact that all of those things have merged, I was asking earlier, what does this mean? Well, first of all, it means oneness. It means that we're all going to be experiencing the sense of being one with every other being, every other consciousness on the planet. And then one of us said that Ashtar had mentioned that we are now in contact. What were the words that you used, Marlene?
With the commanders of all the other...
yes. With the commanders from...
all the other planets to create a link between...
Right, of every other planet.
Yeah.
And the ships. And the central sun. So we are now in communication with every planet, every ship in our universe. So Marlene, who sees these extraterrestrial things easily, well, I'm just going to describe what she told me, and then we'll ask Ashtar about this and what this system is. She said, there are enormous screens, like the ones they do at rock concerts, right? They're big screens in an auditorium. And there's one with all the people watching what we were doing today. And we were doing some wonderful work having to do with becoming the most brilliant human beings that we can be. And I'll wait and let Mother God's going to come first, just to introduce and get us started, and then Ashtar will come and talk about this. But Marlene said she saw auditoriums with these huge screens with our activities on the screen and people watching. Now, they had told us that they were all going to be watching us. They did. We had no idea they meant that. But Marlene said there was one in each universe. And then I heard, just before the show, one in every galaxy. So it's like the Super Bowl, I guess. They just have their big screen and they watch what's going on here on planet Earth. Yeah, you think they were watching you shave this morning? Oh, good thing you shaved. Good thing you shaved this morning. Okay. We're on the big screen. So, of course, we're not the only ones there watching. This isn't the only event they're watching, I'm sure. So this is how they have, people who are off planet can know what's going on here on, the events. So I hope they'll tell us more about that, about what this is that they're doing, what they call it, what it's for, how they decide what to film. Anyway, we have done some amazing work here. And it feels like yesterday especially, it felt as if there was a tremendous shift. And we were told this was like the last straw. We put the cherry on the sundae. And when we did, all the work of all the light workers all over the planet in preparation for this just sparked. And it was like it just ignited the whole thing. Now, this is what they've been telling us. Just a little more, you're almost there, keep going. So we worked up a sweat here doing it. And how many? There are 11 of us, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's supposed to be a master number. Mm-hmm. So something really powerful happened, and we should be feeling some real changes and greater connection between us and our galactic brothers and sisters. And as soon as we were told about this, I thought, oh boy, I bet that means disclosure coming. We'll ask Ashtar about that. All right, so I'm going to get ready to welcome Mother God and see what she has to say. She's told us she's going to be like the master of ceremonies for us. And since I agreed to this project of channeling every day until the RV, Mother God has been the one who's, arranging who's to come each night. And she suggests who should come. So tonight she suggested Ashtar, and I think that had to do with the work we were doing here. So let's turn this over to Mother God and see what she has to say.
All right, Kathryn. Well, I can see
muted
when you get settled in, so I'll have to wait for you. I'll just take a couple of deep breaths, and Mother God's right here. All right. Welcome, Mother
Unmuted.
God. Welcome to our family.
Greetings, everyone. all these beautiful, shining faces all around us. This is wonderful being here. I love having a live audience. It's nice when we speak with you over the phone, of course. We feel your presence, but it's so nice to see the faces around as Kathryn's talking, because I can be right here with her and see them as well. Well, it is an exciting time, and this group of masters has just stirred up some phenomenal energy. You know, one person, one powerful light worker can do a lot. 3 is a wonderful source of energy, but 11 is electric. And you know it, the energy increases logarithmically. If you've done the numbers of a Fibonacci series, you know, or a progression where each number is squared. Well, when you put 11 people together, you get the energy of, let's say, a small comet. And that energy focused intently, everyone on the same purpose, is tremendously powerful. Now, you know you've done these meditations together when all of you joined, and you lit up the entire planet. So this is why, from time to time, we've encouraged you to do one of these meditations, where you all join together at the same time. It has a tremendous effect. Well, let's talk about what you can expect because of this work that's been done. Now, this is not the only time that this work has been done, of course. There have been many people working on these projects. But it was time. It was time for this to be completed. And so we have really been directing the schedule here. We chose the week that this meeting was to happen. We chose the people who were to be here. And we gave them the message. They had better come. And they came from all over the country. All over the country. North, south, east, and west. And they gathered here. And each one of them said, I couldn't not come. I knew I had to be here. I don't know why, but I had to be here. And here they are. And so we're delighted. This activation of the great crystal, the one beneath Arkansas, which was ignited when you connected the two, and the great deposit that flows beneath, really across the entire South, has now been activated. And the thing that our beloved Meg was complaining about, that people in the South seem to be a little behind and a little sleepy, well, no more. And it's true, it was true, because their crystal was asleep. It had been turned off, disabled, turned down for the protection of the crystal. During the time of Atlantis, when there was the great explosion that nearly destroyed the planet, those who were the leaders, the light workers of the time, knew that they must hide the crystals to protect them, and many were buried deep in the ocean, deep under the ground, so that they would not be discovered, and so that they would remain to this day, for this time, when they would finally be reactivated. And what the light workers here felt as they reactivated the crystal was the ancient feeling, the consciousness of the crystal herself. And she spoke through one of the members here. It was the voice of the crystal you heard. She who had been turned off. Really disengaged for thousands of years. And upon awakening, she was angry. She was excited. And finally, she was thrilled and relieved and exhilarated. Like all of you, like every animal, every plant, every being must come into their own. Every being must be who they are, what they were created for. It's in your consciousness, it's in your DNA. To expand, to grow, to be who you are, and to accomplish and fulfill what you're here for. Every being experiences that. Every tree must reach for the sun. Every flower must bloom. Every one of you are now feeling that sense of destiny, that pull from deep inside you to fulfill the path that you came here to do. Now, you talk about your path as if it's a real road. It isn't a road. It is your destiny. And you don't have to find your destiny. You're living it. You don't have to ask, what is my path? What is my purpose here? Your purpose here is to be you. And to be you as fully and completely and joyfully as you can possibly be. And if you accomplish that, you will have fulfilled your destiny. In becoming the you, the best you that you can be, being activated like the crystal, so that you feel every cell in your body, so that you experience every feeling, ponder and notice every thought, manage every action just the way you want it. That, beloved ones, is being who you are. And that is the fulfillment of God's promise to each of you. Be true to yourselves. Be true to the God within you. And when you do that, there will be no question of jealousy or conflict frustration or impatience. You will simply enjoy every single moment, every breath, and you will see your challenges as a glorious experience, as a perfect opportunity to stretch, to fly, to challenge yourself. Why not? Just as a bird must stand on the edge of the nest for the first time. And the baby bird watches its parents. It rouses itself. It climbs to the edge of the nest. And it plunges into the unknown. How is that possible? You are the same way. You plunge into the unknown, and suddenly you discover your wings. You stretch them out, and there you go. You don't crash. You fly. This is what every being needs. A child doesn't have to be taught how to walk. They will crawl over to the nearest piece of furniture and they will struggle and pull and push until they can get up and stand on their feet. We don't give them walking lessons. We watch them grow. We admire them as they discover themselves. It is the same with all of you. And when you activated the crystal, and she was able to stretch and feel herself once again, she hollered. She sent her voice through a human, and she expressed herself. She had plenty to say about what they had done in the Atlantean days when they were so foolish as to destroy everything that had been created for them, all the beautiful energy and the lovely life that was possible. Instead, they tried to use it to make weapons. And it nearly destroyed the planet. Well, that will not happen again, will it? We have promised you that. And this is why it is now safe to activate the crystals. And there have been light workers all over the globe activating the crystals. It has made it possible for Mother Terra to begin a new life, to restore her strength, to use her energy to heal and to raise her vibration into higher dimensions. And now you, beloved ones, must do the same. If you wish to remain with your planet, the beautiful, evolving, rising, glorious planet Earth, you must raise your vibrations as well. There is an entire new universe being created. It will be the home for all who are now raising their vibration, who are now making the transition, preparing for the great shift that will carry all of you into what we have called your ascension. Well, as you're learning, ascension is not just a one-moment thing. It is a process. You're evolving. You're growing. You're learning. As you raise your vibration, you make it possible to leap to another timeline. As we've told you, this has happened many times in the recent past. And now this glorious happening that will allow planet Earth to proceed on her path. And for her, it really literally is a path. She will move in the direction of the central sun to take her place in the center of the universe. You are moving now toward the center of your galaxy. Your galaxy is moving toward the center of the universe. All is shifting. Now you might say, well, why on earth do you need to move galaxies around? Why would anybody want to move their galaxy? Well, perhaps Creator feels because he can. Because we can create new universes. We can create new experiences, new possibilities. And some of you have been told Mother Terra is going to carry the library, which was established on planet Earth. And it will be the library which will serve the entire multiverse. Now you might think it would take an entire planet to carry a library. Well, there is a large percentage of Mother Earth that will be dedicated, inner Earth, that will be dedicated to holding the information which will be equivalent to what you might think of as the Akashic record for the entire multiverse. And it will be available to all beings as a reference, as a resource, and a record of everything. Every experience, and in some cases, every thought. Those things, those events that have taken place that involved intense feeling, those are the ones that are recorded. Like the moments in your lifetime where you remember certain things better than others. Well, there will be, not every sneeze will be recorded in the great library, but every important conversation, every encounter, every great speech that has ever been given, every war that was ever fought, every being who was ever born, all is there. Every star that was created and its history, every planet, from birth until the moment when you look into the record. All will be there And you, beloved ones, are the passengers on this beloved ship. Some of you have called her Starship Terra, and that she is. She is as much a starship as our spaceships are. And how fortunate you are to be here, to experience this moment, this great transition, and to be a part of it. It's a magnificent thing. Many of you have been working so diligently. We want to send you our greatest love and to thank you, to express our gratitude for the way you have worked. It is a wonderful thing. Now, we've told you that we're going to have Ashtar here to talk to you. And I don't want to take up too much time. I hear some interference on the line a bit. I hope this is not going to be a problem for those of you who listen to it. We try very hard to do the best we can with the technology, but you know your technology is so primitive. It does sound as if someone is moving around in your room. We must have a telephone that's open. Well, let's hope it doesn't disturb those who are listening. You'll just have to sharpen your ears, folks, and pay attention. We're doing our best to make this easy to listen to. Yes, dear, I think that's the problem. It sounds like someone's eating celery. All right, well, let us go on, because Ashtar is here and he's eager to talk to you. Perhaps we have someone who's called in on the conference line. Those of you who are calling in on the conference line, would you press *6 on your telephones, please? That's good. All right. I'm going to put Kathryn back on and let her see what needs to be done here. And in the meantime, I will say namaste and blessings to all of you, and to remind you that you will have some amazing events happening. Ashtar will talk more about that, but keep your eyes open, beloved ones. Keep your ears perked up. Don't listen to the news, that's all. Well, you have lots of descriptions for things you don't want to listen to, like baloney and nonsense. It is not true. It is not true information. So listen with your hearts. Listen with your third eye. And now I say namaste, all. And I will put Kathryn back on. And then we will ask Ashtar to come. Meanwhile, Kathryn will see if she can fix this problem. Namaste, all.
Thank you, Mother God. Let's just give Kathryn a second to see if she
Muted.
can connect with this. We had several requests from our listeners for the people that did not have Internet access and couldn't be live with us on the Blog Talk calls. And we are connecting with a conference call number and connecting it with Blog Talk so we can have people from around the world that have phones but no Internet so they can listen to these beautiful messages. So this is about the second or third time that we've done this. So we're just working through the little glitches and seeing if we can't clear up some callers that might be already calling in on the conference call number. So we'll just give Kathryn a few minutes and see if we can't clear
Unmuted.
that up. Okay.
This is Kathryn. Unfortunately, we're having a little trouble with the Internet connection to our conference call. So I can't get on the line to mute the people who call in on the conference line. So anyone who has called in on the conference line, please press *6 on your phone, because we're hearing you breathe, we're hearing you walk around, we're hearing you eating celery, or whatever it is. So I'm sorry. We have a slow Internet connection here, and it's not allowing me to fix the problem from here. So we appreciate your cooperation, and I can tell it's okay now. So thank you. So we're trying to make it convenient, but it does create problems if people are new to this system. You really have to be muted because every little sound comes through on the line and gets recorded for posterity in the Akashic record, right? So thanks for your cooperation. All right. So I'm eager to hear what Ashtar has to say. It was a little distracting, I'm sorry, but I still haven't learned how to channel when there's any activity going on or any noise. So it was a little distracting for me. I think Mother God had to stop every once in a while because I lost my concentration. So, all right, we'll try again. All right, I'm going to step aside and let our dear friend Ashtar come through. I haven't talked to him today, so I'm not sure what he's going to tell us. All right, let's see what Ashtar has to say. Yeah.
Just a few seconds to let Kathryn make that connection through her dear friend. We're so excited to hear. Welcome, beloved Ashtar.
Well, greetings, all. How are you? I'm so delighted to be here. What an adventure you've had. You know, we did tell you we'd be watching. I'll bet you didn't believe us. You didn't realize we were really watching, because we knew, of course, what you were going to do. We were feeding the information to all of you, and you're all so psychic that you picked it up immediately. So we just pass you the baton, and you take it and run with it. What a delight. You know, the company of heaven is watching, because you are the incarnations of many of the company of heaven. I hear a great silence. You didn't expect that, did you? Well, of course you are. That's why you hear us so clearly. That's why you've always been so willing and so ready to take on your assignments, because you've always been tuned and close to us. So let me tell you what I see from the ship and what we've observed after the work that you've done. Now, I don't want to in any way create the feeling or the idea that this is any kind of exclusive work that you're doing, or, well, you know, in the company of heaven there is no hierarchy. We don't think of anything as better or worse, or more important or less important. This is simply the culmination of thousands of years of light workers raising their vibration, doing their work, keeping the planet alive. There have been those in every generation, in every country on the planet, who have done this kind of work. Until recent years, it was mostly the indigenous people who carried the burden of trying to help heal Mother Earth, of tending to the crystals that were secretly kept until this time. You know how you've learned a little bit about how the Mayans have carried forth the traditions. There have been indigenous peoples on every continent, in nearly every country on the planet, and they have been the keepers of the precious heartbeat of planet Earth. They have done their work for thousands of years, most of them in secret. But they have managed to keep these crystals viable. They've managed to maintain the life of the planet, although it was, well, you might say it was tuned down. And now you and your planet are ready to fly. And we are thrilled to accompany you. Now, we're sorry for the crackling and the interference on the line. I hope you're all enjoying this call in spite of it. Bear with us. We have much better things coming for you. Now, you heard about our entertainment. There are people, beings of all sorts, human and otherwise, all over the universe, who are fascinated. And they're fascinated not just because you're entertaining. I was teasing you, of course. They're fascinated because planet Earth is in an enormous transition. The witnessing of a planet in ascension is fascinating to everyone. Many have already accomplished it, have done what you have done already, and they are standing by and cheering for you. They're watching closely because they remember what it was like. There are few who had such a difficult challenge. Most planets came to their evolution, to their ascension, in a much more gradual, quiet way. Just a constant growth and evolution, And they felt themselves growing and evolving and had a much better sense of the trajectory of their work because they were not behind a deep veil the way you have been. This is a very different case because here you are sort of operating in the dark, except for those who are psychic and can channel and bring the information to the rest of you. But many of you are awakening now. So many more are beginning to be able to hear us and to even carry our messages as well. This has created a brand new wave of energy on your planet. Because many, many more, even those who say they don't believe in channeling or they're not interested, listen to the way they talk. More and more people are beginning to say things like, well, look at that. He must have been a chef in a former life. You hear that all the time. And these are people who would say they don't even believe in reincarnation. But they use these sayings, don't they? It's seeping into the culture, little by little. The things that you're doing, the conversations you have, the way you drop these bits of information into your conversations with people who are not believers, with people who are not awakened yet. And it plants a seed. And these people later will walk away and they will hear, my friend just said they listened to a program where people channel ascended masters. I wonder what an ascended master is. I think I'll look it up on the internet. And lo and behold, we have another listener. So those small things those jewels that you drop along your path, others are finding them. And it's piqued their curiosity. And more are coming to take part. The fact that you're using all these different mediums, the talk shows, the Facebook pages, the websites, the telephone conversations, all of it is useful because some people just love Facebook and others hate it. They would rather read a website. And then there are others who maybe have a problem with their vision. They'd rather listen. And so on. And the people who have to drive long distances, they can dial in and listen to a show and they're delighted. All of these things are important. And your technologies, I will tell you, beloved, we will help you with that. You're going to be delighted. And speaking of technologies, the crystals are fundamental to the new energy sources that are going to be available on the planet. These beautiful light workers who have been traveling all over the world doing their group meetings to activate the crystals, they're not just doing it so you will have a beautiful crystal to look at or to bask in its energy. These are communication points. They are electromagnetic energy points. Well, I won't bother with the physics of it for you, but it creates a communication system like nothing you have ever experienced yet. And an energy grid. that will make it possible for you to have free energy with absolutely no waste products, no fuels, and certainly no fossil fuels. The day is soon coming, beloved ones, when every gas station will be shut down. Every pipeline will be empty. Every tanker that used to foul the shores and defile your oceans and kill the fish and the plankton and so on, all will disappear. And besides the communication that will now, well, I said now, didn't I? That will now be possible around your planet. You are now connected through this network to the rest of the universe. It will not be long before you can communicate with every planet in your galaxy. Now, those who are psychic, of course, are able to do that already. They haven't talked with everyone in the universe, but even as you're still awakening, you will be able to listen and to watch. And of course, even if you're telepathic, it is nice to have those screens and to watch the activities in real time. It's a wonderful thing. And, you know, we've told you we know what's going on the ground. Of course we do. We have all kinds of ways. Of course we see your light. We hear your thoughts. But we also have our visual transmissions that are a delight. And so this great communication system that we are now working to complete. We have to complete our connections on this end. And when this entire communication system is activated, you will have what we have told you about. We will be able to broadcast on every medium on your planet. You probably remember that Father God has said there will come a day when all of a sudden everyone on the planet will be able to get the same message. It will come through your televisions, your radios, your cell phones. Everyone will be able to hear our messages. Well, beloved ones, this is what you are activating now. It is part of the great plan. And things are moving very quickly. Of course, there are still some of you who will say, well, I don't see anything changing. Well, awaken, beloved ones. Look around you. What do you think we're talking about here? We are talking about real change, real action. And if you go out in the streets and look around, you will see these people. They are part of this great grid of energy. And they, too, are lighting up. The humans, along with the animals, the flora and fauna, you can feel the air getting cleaner. You are aware that there are no nuclear wars going on your planet. And you have to be sensing, because of all the negotiations that are going on everywhere on your globe, meetings, negotiations, diplomacy, flying back and forth crisscrossing the planet are the representatives from every country, talking, meeting. Things are changing. You cannot miss it if you look with your own eyes. Listen with your own heart. Don't count on those who bring you information from distant countries and interpret it all and tell you. Most of them are sitting in a hotel room somewhere, and they're just listening to the news from other people's news services, and they're sitting in an office somewhere. Listen to the people who tweet. Listen to the people who send you the real messages from the ground. They know what's going on. This is why you have these new technologies. The stories that are to be trusted are not from the official news sources. They're from the people who are there, who are witnessing it. Everywhere you see on the internet, people have taken videos of us. Yes, we have shown ourselves. We've left you crop circles everywhere. People are taking pictures. They post it on the internet. And what's the official statement from the governments around the world? Oh, no, that's nothing. It's probably a puff of smoke in the air, or maybe it was somebody made up that video. Well, how many times do you have to see the truth before you simply say, well, obviously, there are spaceships up there, lots of them, and they're showing themselves to us more and more. You don't need news sources. You only need your eyes and your ears and your friends around the globe. And so these things I'm talking to you about are the groundwork for all the things that you have been promised. The blessing when the currency revaluation happens, but far more than that. A brand new communication between you and the rest of the universe. You know, there are groups who send out squeaks and beeps and so on, or the official source of news is telling you that they're trying to make contact because they suspect that there might be life out there. It's really kind of silly, isn't it, when you think about it? The official NASA people are saying, well, it's beginning to look as though there might be intelligent life out there. I wish they would just call me. It's perfectly easy. They could contact me any day they want. But, of course, they might have to go through one of you. Heaven forbid they should believe something that sounds so far beyond the technology they're used to. Well, there is a time coming soon, I assure you, when there will be no avoiding the fact that we are here, we've been here all along. Yes, of course, they've seen our spaceships. But even those who know that we're here still can't believe that there are as many of us as there are, or that we're here just for peaceful purposes. And if they should suspect that for a moment, well, so many of them have been trained in the old 3D thinking that they still can't help but feel fear. This is still the problem, isn't it? It's the fear that human beings feel after thousands of years of being steeped in this stew of dark thinking. And you've been told, of course, that fear is the opposite of love. Well, it's true. You can't be in love when you're in fear. Now, I want to talk just a little bit about the work that was done here today. There was a very clear purpose in what the members were working on. And I want to repeat some of what was taught, because it's very important for everyone now, for all human beings to understand. You've talked with Sananda about healing. You've begun to understand that your bodies are vibrant, alive, and that every cell in your body responds to what you think. You've been told that many times. I have taught you the pillar of light to protect you from any kind of darkness around you, but that's not so much it's not the real purpose of the pillar of light. It's so that we can communicate with you, and it's also so that you encase yourself, your whole body, in love. And when you do that, you will be healthy. Now, we haven't explained the mechanics of that, but the discussions here today gave a very good view of the effect of this. And what the members saw was that every cell in your body has a consciousness. And then, as one said, every cell has a heart. And that means that every cell is responding in consciousness to everything within the system that is your body. So every cell is conscious. Every cell is connected with your consciousness, and your consciousness is connected to God. Now, this means that God is in contact with every cell in your body. Can you feel that? Can you picture it? Every single cell responds to your consciousness. When you shift your own consciousness to accept your I am presence, your divinity, the consciousness of God, then every cell in your body will respond accordingly. And then when you say to yourself, I am God, it's not just an idea in your brain. It is an experience in your body. And when we say every cell, we don't just mean every cell in your heart or every cell in your brain. We mean every cell. The ones in your toes, the ones in your ankle, the ones in your ears. Every cell. The ones in your fingertips. You know how we say you're the boots on the ground? You're the feet on the ground? The soles of your feet are the cells that connect with Mother Earth and her consciousness. And then the experience of that flows through your entire body to the center of your consciousness and directly to God. And now God is walking on the earth. Now God is speaking to those around. God is living inside your body. This is what we mean when we say you are gods and goddesses. Connect yourselves, beloved ones, to the great source. You only need to acknowledge it, to awaken yourselves, to open yourselves to consciousness, to God. However you think of it, source, creator, all that is. You, beloved ones, are the reflection and the expression of all creation. Think of it this way. Every human cell that is alive is directly connected to Creator. Now, of course, that's true with animals and with all the flora and fauna in all the universes. But let's stick with you for now, because that's easier to wrap your mind around, isn't it? Every human cell on the planet is God. Your little finger is connected to God. The nose on your face is connected to God. The hair that grows on your head is connected to God. I hope this makes it easier for you to understand why we tell you these things. Why we keep saying to you, you are God. And by that we don't mean you control the multiverse. We mean you are God. The cells that vibrate in your body vibrate with the light and the love of God. Now, given that you have free will, you can turn that off. You can refuse to experience it. You can't prevent it, but you can refuse to acknowledge it. And that has been the work of the Dark Ones, to create religions and philosophies and habits and cultural ways of addressing things that will prevent you from that simple knowledge. You are God. You were created by God, yes. And the way it's written, say, in the Bible, is that happened before. You were created, and now you're out here on your own. And you are separate and alone, just thrown out there onto this planet, and then you have to pick yourself up and brush yourself off and discover what you're here for. Well, what we're telling you now, what we're teaching you now, the veil is lifting. You can hear us better now. What we're saying is, no, that's not it. You were not just dropped here and left to your own devices. That consciousness remains. Creator has always been aware of your existence, feels your heartbeat, and feels the life in every cell in your body. When you make that connection, when you acknowledge and accept that truth, this, beloved ones, is your ascension. This is what will allow you to raise your consciousness to such a high level that you will simply fly into the arms of your beloved masters who are waiting to embrace you. Now we've painted a picture for you. I ask that you meditate on this. Give it a name for yourselves. Talk about it to yourself. Do that thing that people have always said, pinch me, prove I'm awake. Well, pinch yourself. Feel your arm. Feel your toe. Notice every cell alive and awake. And as you do this, you create your body anew. You lift every part of your body to a new experience of life. You open yourselves to experience joy. This is what joy is made of, beloved ones. The exhilaration, the thrill of being who you are. The marvelous, wondrous creation that is a human being. Yes, you are made in the image of God, more than you have imagined. Breathe it. Keep that picture in your mind always. You and every cell that makes you who you are connected with us, are connected with Mother Earth and her crystals, the energy you feel, and you are connected with God, just as we are. And when you invite yourself to that party and pull up the chair in this glorious celebration of all that is, you cannot ever again feel alone. You cannot be alone. Now, we have demonstrated to you recently how interested we are in your comings and goings and how present we can be. We do not wish to invade your privacy. That's not what it's about. But we want you to know how much we appreciate you and how interested we are. Because we have a great interest and investment in what's happening here. We know planet Earth. We have these fond, loving connections to Mother Terra. It's important to us to see you succeed because we don't think of it as you and us. It's us. We've all worked toward this. We all feel this sense. We are one consciousness. We are one life force. We are light. And we are ready. Wonderful things are ahead for you. Wonderful things for all of us. You can feel it, can't you? You can feel it, as our brother Saint Germain said. It's only a half an eye blink away. Well, there's more than just the RV coming. And all of it is just an eye blink away. Enjoy the anticipation. Enjoy the feeling of energies rising. Enjoy every precious moment of it. Because in every moment of that anticipation, you are growing. You are evolving. You're preparing yourselves for what is to come. It has been a great preparation. Much was needed to be done. And you have accomplished it. The fun has already begun, hasn't it? All of you who are accomplishing these wonderful feats of raising your own consciousness. This is ascension, beloved ones. You're raising your own consciousness. What a wonder is that? And we applaud you. Thank you for inviting me to speak with you. I will be having more to say in the near future, but there won't be so much to talk about. There will be much more to enjoy. And so we all look forward with great anticipation and joy to the celebrations when we all get to be together. All of us. Dancing in the streets, as we have said. Let the music play. And now I'm going to say, salute. Enjoy your day, your evening, the next breath, the next moment. Make every moment a celebration, an acknowledgement of your power, of your light, and of course, the love that you feel for one another. And you're feeling our love now too, aren't you? We are beaming it down on you, and the energies from the central sun are becoming more intense every day, and you're rising with it. You're learning how to do that. It doesn't faze you anymore. You're not complaining about headaches and nausea and so on. You just roll with it. That is ascension. Okay. Until we speak again, but call on me anytime. Those of you who can listen, and those who can't, call on me anyway. I'll try to get through to you. You only need to learn how to listen. All right. Namaste, all. Hold on to your hats. It's going to be a glorious time. I am your Ashtar. Farewell.
Thank you, Commander Ashtar. What
Muted.
a treat. That was such a wonderful message. We are smiling and high-fiving and dancing already here. And I hope you are out of your seat dancing where you are, too. And all those who are going to be listening to this archive, we celebrate with you, too. And make sure this message just gets sent to every single person you love. And let them know that the time is getting close to some real celebrations and some real times where all these things we've been working on for so long are going to be seen right in front of our eyes. What a wonderful message. Thank you, beloved Ashtar. Welcome, Kathryn.
Unmuted.
I think I'm here now. I just looked up to see all these high fives going on and arms raised and cheering and dancing in their seats. Well, that was really fun. So I have nothing to add. Oh, but we promised people questions. Not one. It's okay. All right. Thanks, folks. We will be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. So we'll have another Blog Talk Radio and conference call. The numbers are on the website, whoneedslight.org. For now,
thank you, Kathryn.
I'm saying good night.
Goodbye, everybody.
Muted.
God's great big